Now we're gonna make preparations to put in our staircase. We've got to adjust our floors and cut holes in our first floor that we didn't do and kind of make some adjustments. If you will look on sheet A7, it gives you sections through the stairs, which gives us the rough opening, and it might make it a little interesting when we go to do Revit stairs. We'll have to see when we get to that point. Hey, uh, but let's look at the basement stair. It has a rough opening of 10 foot 8 and 1/4 inch, and that's from basically from floor joist to floor joist. So if we go to uh, one of your top of foundation plans, doesn't matter. I did this one, the structural, and put the dimensions in. And if you look at your basement plan, sheet A3, it gives you a dimension of 3 foot 6.5 inches. And even though that's showing it to a hidden line of a future bathroom, it lines up with the edge of the concrete foundation wall. So I went from that and measured over to the inside of my double header, uh, my double joist there, and made that 3 foot 6.5. Now I had to move those, so you'll have to unlock them and unconstrain them and move them over and then lock them back in place. And then you want to check this one down here. Now I had to move it just a little bit back to get it to 10 foot 8.25 and then lock it in place. Now that leaves us with three joists right here, kind of stacked on top of each other. So what we'll do is we will go ahead and align our doubles together. And then this one, let's unlock it and move it over just enough so that we can get in there and use an alignment to go to the edge of that, which means we're going to have three of them. But because of the way our plywood measurement is going, that I mean, it works out okay for us. Man, those things moved again on me. I had them all fixed. Anyway, okay, so that gives my framing rough opening the same size. Now these two running horizontal, the inside edges should be constrained to the edge of the core, to the edge of the studs in the wall below and the wall above. Okay. All right. So that got that done. Now you want to go. You'll need a section view and your first floor plan. Yeah, because that's where you can see it at. Um, yeah. Okay. So I've pulled a section view through here, and I can go through and select my floor. So I choose my generic floor, and I want to edit the boundary. I actually did it in my top of foundation plan. So I go edit boundary, top of foundation wall, and then add a rectangle for an opening to and constrain that to the inside of these framing members. And that's going to cut a hole through that generic floor. Okay. And then go back to your section view and do the same thing with your plywood floor. You may have to toggle to get to plywood floor. And I did it on here because I did it on foundation wall because I could see the framing members. And do the same thing. Constrain, draw a rectangle, constrain that to the edges, and then that will cut a hole through. There's a hole cut through the floor right there. All right. Now that on our second floor, I checked mine, and man, it worked out great from the edge of the floor that I put in there, which is constrained to the edge of the generic floor and the floor framing. Because if I pull a dimension from I'm gonna have to look at that. Anyway, but my floor opening was exactly right because that's the measurements. If I look at my second floor plan, sheet A5, my dimensions 3'8", 10'6", and then 2 1/4. Those add up 14'4 1/4 if my math was right. So the edge of the floor opening there is good. I probably need to look at the framing though. So I added, it should be a double there, but I added two. Okay, so I've got to adjust that one. It does not call for a double there, but it has to be a double. So we'll have to add one in there. And what's your dimension? What are you dimensioning to there? Okay, so I need another 2 inches over for that. It's not wanting to move with me. Oh, there we go. So let's do some unlocking. And then I will add a second one. I'm just going to copy that one. Okay, so now my second floor opening is good. Now what we want to do is go back to our first floor and we're going to add, we need, before we start putting stairs in, we need some finished floor because that is going to determine our nosings and risers and stuff like that. So if I look at my first floor, I've got hardwood in the stairway area. And second floor, I have carpet, right? Yeah, it looks like carpet. Okay, so we need to at least add hardwood on the first floor in the stairway area before we start doing the stairs. So let me, you guys know how to add flooring. You have to put in a room divider right across here. And let's go ahead and do the hardwood in this area of the first floor. And then we'll start, come back with do stairs.